Now, cari amici ascoltatori, each year near the 4th of August, we always play the poignant song which tells us of the tragic sinking of Il Sirio. Now, we're going to listen to the record first and then more about the event which took place exactly 100 years ago, this August 4th. And at that time, I will also introduce you to my guests here in studio today. But right now, we listen to Il Sirio.
Il Sirio partiva per l'America, era il suo destino, e da bordo cantar si sentiva, tutti allegri, soltanto i confini. Il 4 agosto alle 5 di sera nessuno sapeva il mio destino. Portò in Sirio un terribile spoglio di tanta gente, la misera tra i passeggeri un vescovo c'era, come tutti nell'angoscia del cuore, porgeva aiuto molto amoroso, dando a tutti la benedizione. E dall'orto tremendo che prese come un lampo tra l'onde sparì. Immaginate l'acerbo dolore che a tutti spezza il vecchio cuore. Colombe batteva sì il grande vapore e i cani lontani volava il pensiero, e chi chiamava la madre e il padre ai fogli fatti la morte trovò.
Now we'll listen and learn more from our good friends who are here in studio with us today. We have with us Mr. Ray Oreggia, the great Pete Spagnoli, and the man that sent me all the information regarding Il Sirio and Voltato music, Dom Karcic. Some of the greatest names in Voltato. Buon pomeriggio, cari amici. Good afternoon.
Joe.
How are you all? Speak into the microphone.
We're doing super.
Now, we're talking about Il Sirio. What about Il Sirio?
Il Sirio?
Yeah, you heard that song, right, Pete?
Of course, I played it when I was only about 10, 12 years old.
Aritinend. Very good.
And everybody knew it who played the accordion.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there was no music then. It's all done by ear.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
nice.
And then we went from bar to bar and played as a little guy.
Little kids.
My father would carry the accordion,
Yeah.
and that was it. And as years went by, it got to be a well-known song.
Exactly. And even our good friend Angelo De Pippo put it on his CD.
He has it on CD, right?
Now, Dom, you sent me the information. I did not know that they were on their way to South America.
South America, right?
Yeah.
What do you say?
Montevideo, Buenos Aires.
Yeah, and on a stop in Spain. They left Genoa and they stopped in Spain. And after they were leaving Barcelona, the captain wanted to take a shortcut to make up some lost time. And he hit a reef right close to the shore. And I
It
think
sank immediately.
it went down very fast, and I think 300 people were lost.
There were 800 people on the ship.
Yeah, and I think 300 died. I
Yeah.
think 300 died.
And all ages, and there was a bishop on that
Yeah,
was going
bishop,
around
actors,
blessing everybody.
Yeah.
And he also sank with the ship. And the captain was so distraught over the fact that he couldn't handle the people, he shot himself.
Yeah, there was a riot. It was actually a riot on
Terrible story. I guess the Titanic of earlier days.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely.
And now we're going into Voltato music. What is Voltato
The
music?
music Voltato comes from Borgo Val di Taro.
That's a town.
It's a town in
Romagna,
northern Italy.
northern
Yeah.
Italy.
And of course, these two accordionists, Gudlane and Filomena, John Brugnoli and Peter Grosso, brought that music from that town here. It has a lilt, a certain style, a certain lift that makes you want to dance. Even those who don't know the Italian music, they get up and they watch everybody, and they
They
get
have to
caught
dance.
up into it. So
I got to tell you my story of when we were in Magnanini's.
go ahead.
I can't tell you how many years ago. And as you say, I like to dance, but I don't do that much of it. Well, that got me so into it. It was the costume party that they have every year. And I was dressed at the time I had the restaurant. I've told the story many times, and I had my costume was a chef's outfit, me and my wife. My wife and I, we wore the same type of outfit. I got one of the jackets from the restaurant, a big chef's hat, and I took a spoon and I bent the spoon to make believe I was a sommelier. And we were dancing, and a lady came over to me after about an hour, and she says, "You know, I love the way you dance, but eating of I'm hungry. Would you please bring?" I said, "I'm not the chef. I'm here as a guest." But you're right. Everybody wants to dance, and the music does have a certain lilt to it. And what else with that music? Now you mentioned John Brugnoli, so now tell us about John Brugnoli and the rest of the Voltato Musette.
Well, Pete studied with him. Go ahead.
Well, John Brugnoli came in the late 20s to this country and got off the boat with his little box, which is an accordion, and settled in and started to do some jobs. And everybody who knew that music, they ran to these places
To listen.
and enjoy the dancing. Before you know it, it was 1936,
Yeah.
and they opened up the Voltato, which comes from Borgo Val di
The
Taro.
town. And tell me, is it a specific type of accordion, or can you do it with any accordion? And Ray Reggie, you tell us with that.
What it really is they call it musette,
Musette.
which is a very sharp type of sound on there. Really cuts through. And as Pete was saying, it's a very lively type of music. They waltz, the polka. They also play a lot of pasodobles, tangos, rumbas. But it's one of those things where you know it if you hear it.
And we're going to know it now because we picked a song which every time Voltato starts, it starts with what we just heard on the played on the accordion live, and now we're going to hear the original recording by Pete
Del Grosso.
Del Grosso and Scudolane Brugnoli, and and they're on this. This is their recording of, as I say, the song that starts every one of these dances. Tutti mi chiamano Bionda.
Chiamano bionda, ma bionda io non la sono. Tengo i capelli neri, sincera nell'amor. No, no, no e poi no, 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 no e poi no perché mamma non vuole. No, no, no e poi no, 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 no e poi no perché mamma non vuole. prima di dormire per non venire da basso.
And cari ascoltatori, just as fate would have it, the telephone rang, and who do you think it was? You know, from the original group, there are only very few people. There is our good friend Pete Spagnoli. There's a Frank Toscano, which we play once in a while. And you know this gentleman by name when I mention him, Aldo Bruschi. And who is on the telephone? Aldo. Buon pomeriggio, Aldo. How are you?
You know, when you mentioned Sirio, my mother used to tell me when I was studying this good lane, make sure he teaches you Sirio. That was a very favorite of those days. But this music is making me, you know, I can't find a substitute who left me for the 20th. But I'm telling Dom, I'm going to try my best to go through my books to get somebody to pray for me so I can be here, because I played with Scudderling and when he was at the Terrace, and the Spagnoli family owned the Terrace for Scudderling. At 1943-44, before I went into the army, we played together for 2 years, and I played all these songs with the master. And he said, and I was trying to leave him to go to the army, but I had to go. That's in World War II. But Spagnoli and I are the only two left of that ensemble. Spagnoli.
I got to tell you something, Aldo. Pete Spagnoli is here, and he was telling us that he felt very bad you couldn't make it. But
I'll do the best I can.
No, don't you dare come on the 20. I took your 2 spots, so you'll have no place to sit.
Man, look, Joe, even if they put me at the bar, I don't care.
Aldo, thank you so much for calling. Keep listening.
I was there last year, and it was wall-to-wall people. This year's going to be more.
Go ahead. You want to talk to John?
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, we're going to leave you on so you can listen to, because you're up at Lake George.
Lake George, yeah. Oh, it's beautiful up here.
I'm sure it is, and it's beautiful down here with all this music. You keep listening. We'll talk to you a little later.
Okay.
So hold on.
Thank you.
Right now, what are we going to listen to, gentlemen?
Listen to this song over here is one of the typical type of Altaro songs that there's actually 3 songs in there. They used to do medleys because a lot of these were folk songs, right? And the way they would connect them, you'll listen in between. There is a what we would call a musical segue, an interlude, or a variation. So when they go from one song to the next song, they'd play a variation, so you know they're going from these songs. And there's 3 of them in here, and you can hear them. Once again, it's very lively. It's on the old Nightingale label. Pete, what's about 1940s?
I would say, yes. If it's Nightingale, it had to be around that time.
That's right.
We're going to listen to Voglio andare in maschera and Sul ponte di Bassano.
Voglio andare in maschera vestito alla bebè, mi voglio divertirmi con chi mi piace a me. Voglio andare in maschera vestito alla bebè, mi voglio divertirmi con chi mi piace a me. Te l'ho incantato, bella di amore, felice il cuore per te vedere, per te baciare. Te l'ho incantato, bella d'amore, felice il cuore per te vedere, per te baciare. Sul ponte di Bassano, baci daremo la mano. Sul ponte di Bassano, noi ci daremo la mano. Noi ci daremo la mano ed un bacino d'amore, ed un bacino d'amore, ed un bacino d'amore. Per un bacino d'amore succede tanti guai. Per un bacino d'amore succede tanti guai. Non mi credeva mai doversi da lasciar, doversi da lasciar, doversi da lasciar.
That's what you call Aldi Dahlia ready to dance music. That's the disco of the northern Italy. And now we were talking about what the difference is, Valtado and the regular Italian classic music. And I think this is a perfect example, but let's explain it a little bit, the difference between that Valtado. And we're going to hear it we heard before our good friend Marco Pizzano do Dove Sta Zazà regularly. Now we're going to listen to the Valtado Mezzetto do it, and Pete Spagnoli playing the accordion, and he arranged it. And we're going to listen to Dove Sta Zazà. You're hearing more accordion music than you'll hear in Italy. Lately, they play Magnaninis. That's a big thing coming up next week.
August 20th.
Oh, yeah, next month.
August 20th. Yeah, we're going to be up at Magnaninis with the Valtaro Accordionist Reunion, which is an annual event at Magnanini. I think this is the 17th year that they're doing it. Almost every year is a sellout, and I think this year is no exception.
I know. I tried to get space. I can't. I got to stand up.
It was started by Celso Pellegrini about 17 years ago, and it just keeps going, and the people love it. The people love it, and it's a very, very popular event, and it's a very festive one. And we're going to be up there with Frank Toscano, Mario Tacca, Rea Regia, Pete Spagnoli, myself, Manny Corallo is going to join us, I think, for the first year this year. And Mary Mancini is also going to be on hand. And also this year, I made a special arrangement of some of the music from the original Valtaro sing-alongs. And we're going to do two songs that are very similar to how they did it in a sing-along back in 1962. And it should be great because we have some great singers that are going to join Mary Mancini and other singers up there. And we hope that's going to be something a little bit different. And right now we're going to listen to the recording. Ray, what are we listening to?
We're going to listen to another recording that Pete Spagnoli did over here. You arranged it. This is on the Fiesta album. And yeah, I want to say this. You know, I've had this album about 30 years, and I was telling Pete this on the way up here, that I had a new appreciation for what Pete Spagnoli did on the album, because I put the album on CD, and for some reason his accordion comes out very well on CD.
Is that right?
So all of a sudden, I'm hearing things and the really tasty licks that he was doing that I didn't hear on the original album. So I was telling Pete today, I really appreciate what you were doing. So we're going to
Show
put that
off. I hate show offs. All right, let's listen to that. Number 6. What's the title of this?
Miniera.
Miniera. Oh, Miniera. Yes. You know, there's 7 of us in here, and yet I'm doing the tango all over this room. And don't ask me how I'm doing it, tiptoe. But the music really gets you, and with those accordions and with that sound, it's just beautiful. We have another sound, and the man who's going to play it for us will explain it to us. Tom.
Yeah, this is Allegro. This is from a CD called Nostalgia, which we made with Mario Taka, Frank Toscano, Frank Carrozza, and myself. And it's Allegro Waltz, which is John Brignoli's famous waltz that the Valtaro played, Allegro. And most of the accordionists all play it. It's a standard of the repertoire.
Is that right?
And it's a great dance number. Great dance number.
They were all great dance numbers. You want to get up? You know, one day I was up there, and the waiter dropped the tray with all the forks and spoons. As they hit the ground, the people were dancing to the sound it made. Let's listen to the Allegro Waltz.
Yeah, a little story. When I was studying with Pete Spagnoli, Valtaro's tempos are always a certain speed. And Pete used to tell me, he says, look at the people's feet. If they can't dance, you're playing it too fast. Right, Pete? Right? The tempo.
Okay, now, Pete, you met the writer of Domino.
Yes, that was way back.
Go ahead.
That was way back in 1964. Now, we were in Italy, and we were in Borgotaro. And we understand that Louis Ferrari, who was Italian and from Borgotaro, but they all migrated to Paris. Tony Morena, Louis Ferrari, and many others. See, that area of Italy turned out a lot of these accordionists. And each one sort of copied from the other. And wherever they went in the world, they brought that music and that lilt and that style with them.
And pieces what we're listening in the background, Emilio is playing for us in the background, is that music, Domino. I was supposed to bring in Aldo's live, but somehow or another I misplaced it. And that's Domino. I have to thank all of my guests. And Dom, I must thank you for all of your help. All of it, and for some space that you're going to give me at Magnanini's.
I want to thank you for promoting Valtaro music and
It's
accordion
beautiful.
music. We all appreciate it. And on behalf of the American Accordion Association, of which I'm on the board, and also Ray, we want to thank you so much.
And Ray, you also. You sent me so many CDs and so much music. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm trying to clean out the house.
Well, you're doing a good job. And Pete Spagnoli. Pete, you're always a pleasure. I thank you so much for being here with us. And God willing, we'll see each other the 20th. John Fraioli taking pictures. Roberto De Roma. And Emilio Magnotta, who came in to play the background music. I thank you all for being here today. The show is the American Italian Music Hall. My name is Joe Farda. My sponsors and I thank you for listening. God willing, I'll be back next week at 2 p.m. with more of the best music. Tune in. You deserve the best.